Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Taos, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. The Maryland Crab Cake Tour out on the road just a few more times this week. We're to Michi's on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, wrapping things up at Costas Inn. I got a text from Gina Schock from the Go-Go's, and she said, unless I get abducted, I'll be there. And I'm like, well, then good. I mean, she'll be there on Wednesday. All of it brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery in conjunction with our friends at Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. We got a short week this week. Steelers week, big football game. Luke's going out. I set this guest up a couple of weeks ago, like before the bye and the Eagles and this and that, because he's a big shot out doing things now. He's a former wide receiver, first-round draft pick around here, and victim as well as guest of mine on my Monday Night Live shows many, many years ago. It feels like it was about 5 minutes ago, Mark Clayton, but 20 years now for you since you did the whole draft thing and came in here?
Yeah, right there. 2020, well, 2005 draft. Here we are, 2024. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
man. I'll tell you. So your headsets made their way, maybe the algorithm, maybe because I talk music and think music and I don't want to say I'm an athlete. You were a real world-class athlete. I'm more of an athletic supporter, but as I get older, I love yoga. I like walking. My wife likes the woods. I'm
Yeah.
not a track guy as much, and I'm never going to do the what's this pickleball. I'm not doing any of that.
You're not
But
gonna,
when it comes to music and sports, and I think everybody knows every rapper wants to be a hip hopper, wants to be a baller. We all know that. And before games, there's always guys in the zone. Michael Phelps had that crazy thing was going on with him at the Olympics.
yeah,
But you're an athlete and you know what athletes like. And the
yeah,
one thing that I hate as a dude who just likes my iPod is when the little nipples fall out of your ears
man.
and
Yeah,
like that. I can't enjoy music the way I want to enjoy it when you see that this headset stays on my head, the one I'm wearing here, right? It's very important because I'm an animated figure, but I'm also not an athlete. Athletes move, and you've created something that for people watching, you can show them, but for people listening, you've tried to create a headset for athletes, right?
yes, absolutely. I just like you. I mean, I've had my fair share of problems, and it came from me wanting to wear an over-ear headphone that was super secure. When I was in Baltimore, in '08, Beats sent headphones to everybody. I got a pair too. And with that, all the pregame warm-ups, I would wear the headphones and I actually broke a couple pair in pregame warm-up. And so fast forward, go to the Rams, I ruptured my patella tendon. I'm doing these workouts in the pool, and in the pool, my headphones are moving. And at that point, it's like, man, I don't want them to get wet. And so from there, it was like, man, I want to create an over-ear headphone that I can actually work out in. And that's where it all began.
All right, dude. I walked off the set here because literally, like where I can reach at the foot of, I have all of my dead headsets. Are you ready? So
Yeah.
these are the little Johnsons that I got. If I had my iPod, but I have like a legit iPod. I have an iPod that
Oh,
still has
really?
one of these.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
3.5.
So, like, when I would do anything,
Yep.
whether it's getting on an airline where you don't have the restricted sound, terrible, terrible
Yep.
at the pool,
Yep.
terrible, terrible everywhere. They were terrible. Okay. So, the next
Yep.
thing you know, I meet someone who was in the industry that you're in. This is a long time ago, maybe 15 years ago. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
15 years ago, I met somebody who worked for this company called Skull Candy, and she sent me two
Mm.
sets of these things, and
Yep.
and they're also like whatever. It's 15 years ago, but then
Yep.
this happened. I literally went to the pool
Yep.
last summer, and just what you told me. What happened in pregame? They would just break in half, literally, right?
Literally.
Dude, I am not bougie you, okay?
Right.
I want you to see. I've had these 15 years. You ready? This
Yep.
is what happened to them. You
Oh,
see
wow.
this?
Yeah.
Just like, boom, done,
Snap.
broken in half, man.
Wow.
Now I'm trying to like lick it, scotch tape it, staple it.
Right. All of
Fill
that.
me in on your thing, dude, because I got
Right.
like I'm obviously this is for radio. I do have this
Yeah.
problem where my wife's trying to get me onto the Spotify, and I don't need that annual wrap up about how much Led Zeppelin I've been listening to. I don't need to know that. But for the
But I,
modern thing, yours is Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, the whole deal, right? Like my old man iPod's not going to work. You're an old man like me, but my old man iPod's not going to work with your thing, right?
correct. Well, our deal is 100% premium. So anything in the premium market that's an over ear, we're there. So when you talk about the Sonys, the Bose of the world, Apple, AirPods Max, all of it. You get your ANC, your ambient sound, the sensor that lets you know that the headphones are on or off or all. It's fully premium. The difference in ours is the design and the fact that it's more secure.
Well,
Basically,
this was designed you
I
could
actually get a
jog in it, shoot hoops
yes,
on your own in it,
exactly.
fully
You can
move
move precisely. It was been
around, right?
designed
Like,
to do the move. Yep,
okay,
yep.
I've had you on, and people can go out to YouTube, and your Wi-Fi's cutting in and out, and it's the worst thing, and it's what I
I was
warned you about. So,
uh,
nonetheless, I had
here.
you on
I'll
at a
get on
couple
that.
Super Bowls. No, I had you on a couple Super Bowls.
Okay.
And you've talked about this product and you going into this space. You have a big background in Oklahoma. I don't even know what your major was in college, but this is not like the first time you've talked about this. And some of your other peers, like Justin Forsett, is always talking to me about his cleaning shower pill. And you guys who do the entrepreneurial thing, this made it to me recently that you've really moved your business into a space. And I wanted to,
Yeah.
because you talk football, I just want to have you on and like learn a little bit about your journey into entrepreneurship and into like developing something that, to your point, Dre and these guys had already done beats. They got a documentary. It's a hell of a documentary, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
like it didn't work for you as a football player.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, and that's ultimately what it was. It was like, how do I solve? I'm in this swimming pool doing rehab, and I'm like, I just want to over ear because I love the sound, but I want it to be secure. And so that's when I went and started to sketch what I thought would be different. And so I have three patents, one patent pending, two patents on this headphone, and they all are around the design. So I have an industrial patent based on the way the shape of the headband is, and then I have a design patent because nobody's ever designed a headband like that before. They're fully granted and belong to live. And so
That's
our
two V's, LIVV. I want people to
correct.
find it that way. Right?
Yep, LIVV. And so the value in going to market with the headphone that is truly made for movement, for an active lifestyle, is tremendous. And with what I have now, this is actually the second model that I've made. The first one was crazy when it came to functionality. Like I had people doing flips. I went on tour with some parkour free runner guys, and they're jumping around, jumping off buildings, like doing all this with the over-ear headphone on. I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. But fast forward, that headphone wasn't for mass market. I didn't. The majority of people don't need to be doing flips. They're not jumping off buildings. They're not doing all this crazy stuff. It needed to
I
be
just
something.
want to do dishes with something that holds on to my head. Like I
Right.
swear to
You
God,
want to mow the
this thing,
lawn?
this thing
No.
was so heavy. I'm not kidding you. This thing was so heavy on my head before it broke that
Wow,
it would almost like be uncomfortable on my neck, right? Like
that's
just sort
crazy.
of putting a little extra or something in a place. I'm 56 now. I got a bad back. We've already talked about why
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
golfing, why I'm not in batting cages, why I love tennis, why I'm
Right.
probably not going to play tennis. I'm going to need to get some work done on my L3, L4 in order to be able to do these things, including surfing. And if there's things that are above and beyond walking through Manhattan or having a little dance or moving around a little bit, I am, and my Planet Fitness partners would tell you, I am yoga. Hot yoga is my thing. I'm fit. I
Yes,
don't have dad bod.
that's great.
I'm good like that. But music, it, dude, sports has
Yep.
let me down. Mark, you know this,
I
right?
do.
I mean,
Indeed,
sports lets people down. It's
it
disappointed me
does.
through a lifetime. Music never lets me down. And there is a point for me where I think the rest of my life, hopefully I don't go deaf. That would be the worst thing ever. But music would be my jam. So a little extra
Absolutely.
money, a little more comfort, a little more the reason, and let's you and I talk. Mark Clayton is here, former wide receiver from the Ravens. He is the proprietor, owner, and the patentee of all things LIVV. They are pro headphones, LIVV. If you remember Mark, give him some love. You don't have to love Oklahoma to love Mark, but
It's all good.
I mean, this is serious business now because I love music, right?
Yep.
My wife wonders why I don't take my iPhone. And she's like, you got Apple this, you have 20,000 things, you could $5 a month, but okay. I have an iPod with, I had 20,000 CDs. I have a
Jeez.
hard drive. Like I was a DJ,
Oh,
mobile
yeah.
DJ. I was a music critic in the 80s and 90s. The huge
Yeah.
background in music. I love music. As much as sports has been my business, music is
Right.
always my passion. Ask anybody, concerts, all that stuff. And that being said, in the modern era, I am not
Mhm.
Spotify. I don't pay for services. I hate needing Wi-Fi to connect to music. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. I hate the so that my phone, I love that it's Wi-Fi and it does all things that mobile devices do. And I'm a texter, I'm that guy. But I
Hmm.
don't want this to be where I get my music. And it's not because I had an 8-track player or cassette player or real, because I did. I had all of that. And
Right.
it's not because I'm married to the iPod or the MP3 or the little wheel or the string that comes out of it or any of that. I just
Okay.
need a different device. I'm
Huh.
texting with you. I'm working on here. I can't process. I don't want my music on this. This is my where I work, play,
Right.
text. Music's a different thing for me. And it's
Hmm.
like this headset. This is a Microsoft
Right.
Life Chat 6000. It's married to my head. It's meant for spoken word. It makes me
Right.
not shout. It makes me feel like I'm
Yeah.
an operator or whatever. But from music and device to playing to all of this, we are
Hmm.
so conditioned to what we like, including the music you listen to is probably the music you listen to when you're 19, like all the rest of us, right?
Yep.
And it's there. But for me, this thing has far outgrown what I want my music device to be, my Walkman, whatever you would call an old man device,
Right.
that needs to be tethered to my headset uninterruptible, not where I'm on
Gotcha.
on
Accessible.
airplane mode
Yes.
or this is
Uh-huh.
on and that's
Exactly.
off or
Yeah. Yeah.
damn these notifications in the middle.
Yes.
No,
No,
no.
none of that.
And I feel that way when I drive. I
Mm.
don't have my phone connected to maps, this and that. I don't want my phone ringing or text going off when I'm listening to music or even when I'm listening to talk radio. I'm into like or a podcast. What I'm into, I'm into. Give me your headset and the design for you and the way that you listen to music and the way that I need to consider listening to it in order to not be interrupted by real life. Which when
Accessible.
I'm doing
Accessible is
music,
what you're
I
talking about.
I need to be in another place when I'm doing
Right.
it. And I haven't
Right.
found, I'm
Right.
begging of you, I haven't found the
Yep.
music device. I have a
Yep.
broken
Yep.
headset. I have things that don't work. And the way I listen to music mainly, and it pisses my wife off, it's like I'm a
Yeah.
drummer. I love loud music, dude. I'm a rock and roll guy. And
Yep.
like, I can't do that. I'm a speaker guy around my place.
Uh-huh.
I don't work with anybody else. Holidays, my wife's gone. I can crank it up, but I need to
Right.
have a live headset kind of
Yeah.
mojo that's going
Yep.
to deliver all the music I love. I got to get away from the iPod. I know I'm an
Yep.
old man, but it can't be this, dude. So help me out, Mark Clayton.
All right. So this is Live One.
Okay, here we go. I like this. Okay, hold that up and talk about it while you hold it up.
All right. This bad boy right here
I
is
remember
Live
that. It was
One.
really weird.
Is weird.
It's
Exactly.
funky like a monkey. I
It
like
is
that.
industrial. Like it. Yeah. It is all industrial, and it is functional. It works. This sucker gonna stay on your head no matter what. But what is also on here is a few gigs with the ability to upload music. So you could upload, I don't know, a few thousand songs to this headset,
Just for a
and
vacation, and I'm good.
you're good. Select, scroll through your tracks or whatnot, but you will be totally disconnected
See,
from
I like
anything
that
planet.
because, like, I have nice hair. I mean, I'm not going to let it out for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
I
I
know you
have
got the long, flowy.
you haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
me
yeah.
back when you saw me. I was respectable. Remember, I was respectable
Uh-huh.
back in the day. Now. I'm like in that Tesla song. Took off my hat and said, imagine that. Hey, me,
Yep.
look at. So I'm a visor guy. I'm an iPod. Dude, I had a hell of a time on vacation this summer because I broke these
Right.
some buggers on like day two. And now all of a sudden these were the backups. And it just,
Right.
I'm like, I'm gonna sit in the room and listen to music. And when I'm at the pool and the beach, like I've got to have a better solution. So
Yeah,
I'm
man.
asking you to help me
See,
help myself enjoy
right.
the music that is the last thing in life I can enjoy that's not coffee or sex or a decent steak. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Absolutely. And that one does it. And that as we grow, I have, plans for future iterations of the headphone and getting to this space where you're talking about, where it's like, man, it's you and your music and that's it. And with that, we've
That's a
started
sacred spot, brother. Don't
like,
you?
yeah,
It's
it
sacred.
is.
It is.
No matter what you're doing, whether, I mean, walking,
I don't want the phone
lawnmowing,
ringing and muting my music. When
whatever.
I'm in the
Yeah.
car,
Yeah.
if you're calling me, it's not superseding what I'm
Yep.
already listening to. And like
Yeah. I feel that.
I can't have that overlay. My wife has it. She has this damn Adele thing and the Bruno Mars connected to her phone. And every time Little Johnson goes off, I'm hearing beautiful girls
Yeah.
all over the world. And I'm like, Mark Clayton is here.
Oh, that's great.
What are your jams? What do you listen
That's
to?
great. So recently I'm a little baby guy. Little baby does it for me. So when I tune the sound to the new live,
These. Now this is so you have two different models, and that's all. There's
yes,
small,
sir.
medium, and large. It's just grande and vente, and that's all we got for you.
Correct. Absolutely.
Two
Just
different.
with adjustment.
That's it, and they fit everybody, right?
Well, yeah, so the headphone adjusts, and so you can adjust it however
But
I mean,
there's
you
not
can
a female
play
and a
around.
male, or a big head and a small
No,
head. No.
no, nope, nope. Just like everybody else, just you got the
Now, can
adjustment.
I buy the Ninja ones, like for the parkour guys, the earlier ones, or no?
No, you can't. But I could get you set up, Nestor. I got you.
Dude,
I got you, brother.
you have no idea the next time that I'm doing what I love doing the most, which is nothing other than figuring out on my iPod what
Yeah,
mood
yeah,
I'm in today. Am
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
feeling reggae? Am I feeling classic rock, good
Right,
rock, yacht
right.
rock, uh,
Soft
country rock? Not too much. I don't
country
do the
rock.
country.
Nothing.
I
Okay.
mean,
Yep,
I'm not a big hip hop rap guy, but I could do five
yep.
hours of everything from Sugar Hill and Run DMC and Jay Z
Okay.
and Tupac. So, I mean,
Yep, yep,
I'm
yeah.
not uncool. I'm just not. I'm a rock guy, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I eat
Yeah,
where I eat. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And that's
Absolutely.
fine.
That's
That
great.
doesn't mean I
I'm a
can't
rock.
listen to your music or that I don't like
Right.
Adele or Bruno Mars because I love them both. I just don't love the same three songs. Remember when you two put that ish on my iPod, right?
Yeah.
And we had the album on there, and it came. No good.
No good. That ain't happening.
That
Well,
iPod got stolen from me in the airport, and I was almost blessed that it was gone because it already lost some functionality anyway. But I'm
Mhm.
really trying to figure out how I'm going to enjoy music the rest of my life. And I think
Right.
maybe you have a tool.
Right.
So tell everybody, why'd you get into
Um,
headsets, dude? Like last I checked, you were
well,
trying to like catch passes from Kyle Bowler.
exactly. Well, I got in because the headphone that I was using when I was at a critical point in my career, which is doing rehab from another injury, the headsets I was using wasn't working for me. Flat blank, period. And so that
Would
just
have made your
that
rehab better because you had a
absolutely.
hundred
I had to
hours.
stop
What did you
to
hurt?
handle
What did you
so
hurt?
ruptured patella tendon.
Oh, now that doesn't hurt at all. So
Right.
you have ice, pain, rehab, stim, surgery, like all of
All
that.
all of the
And
things.
at that point in your life, if your relatives drive you crazy, and if reading the internet wasn't like you just want to
Whatever.
go into your little zone, man,
I
right?
want to go in the zone and do the pool work that I'm supposed to be doing and not worry about these headphones bouncing up and down while I'm running.
And there's something else about just like when I do an hour long yoga to program an hour of yoga for the music I'm in the mood for today. Now, I will
Yeah.
tell you, prior to us meeting, I put a yoga room together here recently. It's one of my New Year's
Very
resolutions to
nice.
do it more at home. And
Yeah.
I'm a speaker guy. No, I mean, there's not
Yeah.
a day of my life where my iPod that has 40,000 songs is not connected enough to drive my wife crazy listening to Conway Twitty sometimes. I mean, and I crank up some Guns N' Roses. I do what I do.
There you go.
But
Yeah.
having a headset that would work for me is something, and I don't mean to be flippant with you. I've never considered it because all of these things have been ish. All of them.
Exactly.
None of
Exactly.
these. Dude, I swear to God, this summer
Exactly.
I really wanted some loud music, and it was a hot summer morning, and I
And
had
you
dishes
tried
to
it.
do, and I
Yeah.
tried a headset, and it hurt
Ah.
my neck.
Yeah.
Like
That
just
thing look.
leaning over doing dishes
Look.
and stuff. It
That
it
thing
was
look.
no,
That,
it was
that thing like that looks like a helmet to me. Like it probably feels like I'm wearing a helmet too.
yeah, it
But
looks
no,
like
you need
yeah,
light.
yeah.
You need something secure.
I
Like
need
it's
better. I need to do
yes,
better.
yes.
So what do I do to get your head? Can I
You can
demo it somewhere, or is it for sale at Best Buy? Or like I just
right.
where can people get a hold
So
of it without having to go all the way in and buy it and take a spin on it?
so for you, Nestor, we will figure getting you a headphone because it's Nestor. But right now we're up for pre-order on our own website, liveaudio.com, LIVV audio.com. And what we're doing is we show up, and I have a lot of people who had my first model that we're shooting content with, allowing them to test and play around with the new model that we'll be posting on our own socials. But taking it for a spin will be after a purchase.
What's the wildest thing you've done with the headset on personally to have it hold on to your head? And I don't mean something
Uh,
like doing a Carrie Strug routine, or you know what I mean,
right.
like
Yeah,
Simone
the wildest
Biles. I'm
thing
not saying that.
nothing crazy, nothing crazy with this is jump rope. Like just jumping rope. Jumping rope is, and that's one of the things that
How
even with
much does
the
it weigh on your head?
this is 9 ounces.
Yeah, I don't know what this thing on my head weighs, and I wear it all day, but I don't even know it's on.
That
And there
thing's
is a
light.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a point for me with this. It's really light. This thing's
yeah,
really, really light, and
absolutely.
that's what one of the reasons I really. It's enough. It's enough cushioning around my ear to
Right,
block out. If my wife's out, if the cat's meowing right now, I don't hear it. Which is where
right,
I need to be.
right.
And the microphone's been. It's and I'm AM radio, right? So I don't
Yeah,
really want
yeah,
to
yeah.
broadcast in big ball stereo, that FM echoey. People are just listening to us. They're not making out to us. It's not Led Zeppelin. It's AM radio. So I have and look, I've been in radio 33, 34 years now. Like having headsets is a big, big, big part of my life. The fact
Absolutely.
that I'm not deaf now, although I'm scared to death to like find out what the Zeppelin
Where
concerts
you
in the
actually
ACD.
are?
Yeah, I don't even, yeah. I mean, I'm afraid of my
Don't do it.
bass line.
Just keep living.
No, well, LIVV. But there is a point for me where wearing a headset's been my job for 4 hours a day for
Right.
33 years, or like give or take, that I don't necessarily want a headset. But part of it is I've never had a comfortable one. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
I've never had a truly comfortable music headset ever in my life. And radio, dude, you're talking about a guy here who's done uh, I mean, I'm not being a dick. I've done 100,000 hours, or maybe at least 50,000, going on
That's
100,000
amazing.
hours of radio with
Right.
usually something on my head. I did have a couple of years where I didn't like wearing the headset, and I had a monitor, and the
Hmm.
mic was here so it wouldn't feed back, and I would even listen to the calls. I
Mm.
took phone calls for 22 years, Mark, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I know a lot about this, but I don't know anything about it because I don't develop it. I just
Indeed.
know what I don't like, which is most of it,
Which
right? I
is,
mean, yeah,
yes,
and
you're
that's
not
where
the
you
only
were,
one.
right?
Yeah, you're not the only one. And, with that, you got to call, that's a call set headset. That headset is not meant to create a sound hall that gives you a sound experience that is immersive at all. And so when you do that, you're going
I
to add
never
that.
listen to music in this,
You're
just so
not,
you
yeah,
know.
that,
Not even
yeah,
like on YouTube or whatever. Like this is where I have meetings, and then I don't. If you and I were having a business meeting, I'd rip the headset off and just talk into the computer,
right.
like you're talking to me right now, and your sound sucks, and it's going to sound awful on the radio because you don't have a mic source that's good.
I don't
So
have
that's
a,
another
right.
part of this. The other thing with a lot of these, like, and I keep holding this crazy old skull candy old thing that's broken. This
Yep.
thing had a mic on the it had an original cable. I mean, we're talking it's a 15-year-old device, right?
Right.
It had a mic off of it that
Mm.
wasn't like you would you would sound better on the radio right now if you were, but it was also like you
Dang.
could
That's
talk.
crazy.
You know,
Yeah.
like you could talk off the lapel mic or whatever. None of them were great mics, but they
Right.
let you talk on the phone. and I
Okay.
and I see these Bluetooth things and people got the little clips on their ears. All of them sound awful to me
Yep.
on the
Yep.
radio. All of them sound awful to you on your ear. Like
Yep.
so that's therefore I don't own one. I had the ones that went over my ear. Every time I bought them, I wasted money because I
Yep.
hated wearing it.
You're
And
right.
once you hate wearing it,
It's over.
it's over. Whether
It
it's a
is.
shirt, whether it's a tie, if you hate
Yeah.
wearing it, you'll just pull something else out, or you'll
That's
do what
fair.
I do, which is have these things sitting around 30 years later and keep them as the backup to the backup to the backup plan. And you put them in your ears and you're like, who at Apple ever
Yeah.
decided to put this
Oh my.
into an ear?
Yeah. That is the first one.
It's
Golly.
horrible, man.
That is
But
wild.
you wore this, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I had those. Yeah, definitely.
So
It
you
was
know
what
what
it was what the market was. Is what
once
the
you
market.
know what bad is, you can make what good is, or what in your case is what makes yours great. What did you borrow from Beats and Bose and like all of those companies we've heard of to
Right.
develop something that's for athletes that they're not going to sacrifice what? And listen, I'm probably deaf enough that I wouldn't be able to tell you what a high quality Pink Floyd
Hmm.
$400 download to the sound, versus just listening to it. I love music. I'm not that
Yeah, a
guy. I'm
sound
not the
and a
nerd.
sound engineer. You're not a
Yeah, I'm
sound
not a
engineer,
sound engineer, but
right?
I'd love
But
to
you know what
learn.
good sound is. Yeah,
I'm not
you
a
know
wine
something sounds
sommelier, but
shitty.
I know what good wine tastes like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
what makes, when I put yours on, give me a
Yeah,
little experience because I don't have great experience listening. I don't have $600 beat. I didn't buy any of them because none of them were comfortable. I wasn't Wi-Fi'd up, right?
yeah.
I'm not used to anything that's really, really good, quite frankly. I'm from
Sadly,
Dundalk.
not that the expectations were high either. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, the thing that differentiates this one is literally the fit. And so, because of the fit, we get a lot of benefits. One is passive noise cancellation. Everybody in the premium space has active noise
I know what
cancellation.
that sounds like on an airplane. So I'm
Right.
very,
You
it's an
pump in
amazing
the
thing.
noise.
And
Yeah,
Bose
it's
made a
good.
fortune in Best Buy, which when you click the button on, all the sound in the Best Buy goes away and you're like, oh my God. Right. So like
Yeah,
that was 20,
it's
25
really
years
cool.
ago. Yeah. It was like,
Right.
and then once you do it that way, you
You can't go
can't,
back.
you can't
You
do
can't go
this on
back.
the plane. You
No, you
can't.
can't. You can't go back. Exactly. And so, I mean, and that's like a standard in premium, period. So everybody has to have it. But passive noise cancellation is not a standard. But I get great passive noise cancellation because our headphone has such a secure fit. Like it's crazy,
I'm
which
looking
also
forward to like
enhances the
putting some
sound.
sting on and doing an hour of yoga wearing,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
like that's where I want to
Exactly.
go.
That's
But
where I
I
need
got
you to go.
I got to figure the device out. LIVV audio, LIVV audio. Mark Clayton, my
Yes, sir.
longtime friend, 2 decades and guest,
Yep.
former Ravens wide receiver, now entrepreneur,
Entrepreneur.
along with Jay-Z and the rest. You got anything on the Ravens? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, obviously last week was, I think I enjoyed us doing what we're supposed to do. But, earlier in the season, come in, KC happens, but I'm looking at the team, I'm like, man, this team is such a good team and still has Super Bowl potential. And, the first few weeks, up and down, our defense, first half of the season, no bueno. But at the end of the day, I've just always just watching this team. This offense is unbelievable, and felt like our defense would eventually find a way to stop the bleeding enough that our offense would be able to continue to carry us and get into the playoffs. Make some opportunistic plays on defense because I think all the games are going to be close regardless. But we have the difference maker in Lamar and Derrick Henry. And so I've obviously enjoyed watching, and I'm still a huge fan. But this season, I feel like they definitely have Super Bowl potential.
well, it's just a long road, and they've paved this more difficult way for themselves with Buffalo and
They,
Kansas City. And man, look, I sit here and talk about it 5 days a week. You played the game 24 hours a day for a number of years, and you're enjoying yourself in this entrepreneurial role, are you, Mark Clayton?
I am indeed. I am indeed. It is fun, man. It is, unexpected. I never thought I'd be doing this, making like create a hip. I've been to China multiple times and at a factory and got this done. Like, and it is incredible.
Look, next time
But
I have you on, I'm going to get your new headset mic,
yeah,
and we'll get together. And if you're back in town when I'm doing a crab cake tour, come sit with me and let's
sure.
talk about this journey and the things you've seen. Because as much as anything, for all of you jocks and the washed up jocks like you and the washed up former journalists like me,
Yeah,
when we get together, it's life's journey. And you
yeah,
made some money playing football, and you did some things, you experienced things in life. Now you're in a different space in life, and I think we
yep,
all go through that, right? Like every
sure.
player is not a player anymore, no matter
No
what they were
doubt.
doing. And whatever the focus is, even if it's just raising a family, hitting a golf ball, doing
That's right.
charity, if you made that much money, Jo and some other guys
Yeah, right,
living,
right.
living
Yes,
that way, that's cool. Then there were other guys like you made some money, you put it away or whatever, but you're like, I'm 35 years old, I got to do something, and I got
still
to do
go. Yep,
something that has passion.
yep,
And traveling the world to see it and develop it. That's a longer story. Let's do that next
indeed.
time. But in the meantime,
Sure.
tell people how to find you and find your headset
Yeah.
and get involved in it. And you got celebrities wearing your stuff. You got all that going on, right?
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming. We're not there yet. And so that's a big part of when you talked about testing it. I will have so many people wearing this headphone here in the next month, January. That will be really cool in test phase. But at the same time, I know they're going to love it. And so a lot of that engagement is going to be huge for everybody getting to see the headphone publicly. And when they land on everybody's doorstep and they get to experience it personally, I have no doubt that they're going to be like, this is freaking awesome.
All right, last thing for you, and I'm just gonna drop the mic on this because my kid came up with this. My buddy's like an executive with Live Nation, and I went to him. This is on our next. We're gonna do this again, Mark
Okay,
Clay. We are because
sounds
we
good.
gotta I get serious business to talk to you. The
Indeed.
thing I hate more than anything is paying X amount of dollars, whether it's $20 to sit on the lawn at Merriweather or it's 400 to sit in the second row for Sting or for Van Halen or whatever. And I don't pay 400 because I'm a cheapskate. Maybe 200 on a good night, two and a quarter. But
Right,
like I
right.
got a limit, right? Like I'm not
Indeed.
the $1,000,
And you bound for
but
two.
all that being said, doesn't matter where you sit. If you have a jackass next to you talking when Bruce Springsteen is singing Drive All Night and you've paid to be there, it's awful. My kid said I would pay more to be able to wear a headset at a
Mm.
concert that just blocks out jackasses and feeds me bored sound.
Mm.
Something to think about. Mark
Interesting.
Clayton is here, wide receiver, legend in Oklahoma as well. And congratulations on
Thanks,
getting this to
Nestor.
market.
Dude,
And I
thank you.
see it. I want to give it some love and talk about it and maybe wear it when I'm doing old guy yoga stuff. And after the surgery, I'm going
Great
to
for
need it for
yoga.
pickleball.
There you
Pickleball.
go.
Don't get me
Oh
started.
man, there you
I
go.
am Nestor. He is Mark Clayton. We are WNST AM 1570 Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking Baltimore positive.